Okay, here's another book I'd love to see turned into a movie. Outside of that, maybe you just want something to read. This is highly recommended by me. This is 14 by Peter Clines, released in 2012. I think it won some awards and that kind of thing. Whatever. I just think it's a great book. It'll make an incredible movie. The story follows Nate, a guy who's kind of just down on his luck. He's got no money, he's got no girlfriend. I guess he's been dumped or whatever, and he's looking for a place to live. He finds an incredible deal in an old brownstone apartment in Los Angeles. It's an old building, but the rent is the right price, so he has to take it. Moves in and everything seems fine. It's just an old apartment, but then he starts to notice some weird little quirks about the apartment. Weird stuff, like when he puts a light in his apartment, regardless of the type of bulb he uses, it glows with black light. He finds a weird little glowing cockroach with an extra leg. Gets him curious, so he has to start trying to figure out what's going on in this apartment. The people that own it and run it are mysterious. Then he starts to meet the other inhabitants of the building. And that's when the Stephen King vibes really kind of kick in for me, because Clines really does a good job of developing a quirky and eclectic group of people for Nate to become friends with. And they too start to do more investigation. I think he inspires them to dig more. And the focus turns to apartment 14. It's locked. According to people that live in the building, it's always been locked. It's been painted over several times. The border of the door is covered in paint and sealed up. So obviously they want to know what's inside. This would be an incredible movie for Guillermo del Toro to take on, because it does, as I said, have all the other elements that I mentioned, but the things I think he could hone in on the most are the Lovecraftian elements. It's not a Lovecraft movie in that kind of huge monster-y thing, but there are vibes happening here of Lovecraft. And I can't get too deep into it without spoiling it, but that's there. So if you cross Lovecraft vibes with Stephen King character development and the twists and turns of something like X-Files or Lost, you've got what this is. It would be such a cool movie. Again, also a cool limited miniseries. I don't want to see this as a TV series that goes on too long. It would really ruin the story. I think I said that about my previous pick too, but that's how I feel about most books that I read. Now, that said, this book does inspire some crazy sort of sequels that you got to read them to believe them. It's just, did this really happen in this story? It's just so good, so unique, and so unexpected. I can't believe this book hasn't already been made into something. If you haven't read it, I highly recommend you read it. Give it a look. Let me know what you think, and let's talk about it some more in the comments if you have read it. This is my next pick. If you want to see more of these, let me know in the comments, and like and follow.